I'd like you to get a pen and some paper. It doesn't need to be in your sketchbook to begin with, but what we'd like you to do is answer these 3 questions in as much detail as you can do. So question number 1 is, if you had a free day tomorrow, what would you do? Where would you go? Imagine you had nothing to do, no chores, no homework, nothing to do at all. What would you choose to do on a day off? Where would you choose to go? Who would you choose to spend that time with? And would like you to write down at least 5 possibilities for this. Okay, so go into as much detail as you can do. You don't have to write an essay, but if you can point out 5 places you'd like to go, things you'd like to do, people you'd like to spend your time with, then that's a really good start. First of all, we're just brainstorming, list building. Okay, question number 2. What makes you really happy? Think about that. What makes you really happy? And it might cross over into that question number 1. It might be somewhere that you go. It might be people that you like to spend time with. But generally, what kind of makes you really buzzing, makes you really happy? It's to really get up for the day and do, you know, what can you think of that makes you really happy? Okay, so again, if you can try and write 5 things, we're hoping you've got 5 things. If you don't worry, but try and aim for 5. And the final question we'd like to ask you to do is, what makes you really angry? Now this is quite, you might kind of wonder why I'm asking you this, but what makes you really angry? What makes your blood boil? What makes you really passionate about something? Because we're trying to get this idea across in your portfolio about it being an individual portfolio, something that you feel passionately about. And if you can build a portfolio around things that really interest you, potentially make you really happy, really angry, something that fires something up inside you, it will be that much more easy for you, first of all, and it will be that much more exciting for the viewer to look at. Okay, so what makes you really angry? Can you think of things? I'm just going to give you a few examples for each of these 3 questions of things that are my kind of places I'd like to go to do. So number 1, places I'd like to go. Question number 1. I would probably go and spend a day looking around galleries. I would go out into nature, so I would be going out in probably woodland. I do like sea, but I prefer to be around trees. Into woodland areas. Maybe you like, this isn't a preference of mine, but maybe you like rock climbing, maybe you like mountain biking, maybe you love to go into the city, people watching, cafes. Maybe you're really passionate about volunteering and you work with homeless people. I don't know, any kind of volunteering. You know, what do you do? Maybe you play football. My nieces love football. So how would you spend that day? So for number 2, personally, what makes me happy is spending time with my family and my daughter. She is my family. But spending time with my partner and my daughter. What do we do? What fun do we have? How does it make me feel? Meeting up with friends. And again, it crosses over into that meeting up with friends and possibly going to galleries. Obviously that's a major part of my life, is art and seeing visual art, experiencing visual art. So that's some examples of what makes me really happy. What makes me really angry? Don't get me started! But this is how passionate you maybe need to be. Plastics. Some of the demos in this challenge are based on my anger about plastics, throwaway plastics, single-use plastics, recycling. Politics. It's quite a tricky time at the moment in the UK politically, and it's kind of fired me up a bit in my sort of later years. As a youngster, I was never interested in politics, but as I get older, I find that I'm getting myself quite worked up about certain issues in politics. So What else? Litter, dog poo, antisocial behaviour. And another one, again, arts related, is how the arts are not that supported. We look at the education system promoting STEM, but the idea that it should be STEAM, science, technology, English, arts and maths, as the arts being important to the kind of basic education that all children, young people should have. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea of the kinds of things that that I would approach, or given you some ideas of the kinds of things that you might be able to put in your list. So really, for day one, have a think about it. Maybe don't jump in straight away, but for day one, if you can watch these videos that we've got posted, and I would really like you to get a handle on these 3 questions. And we'll catch you tomorrow for day 2. Thank you.